What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Post Up Show on the Five Reasons Sports Network. So, this game was unexpectedly one of the most exciting things that I've seen in quite a while. It seems like every time we put the Skyforce on the floor, it's actually a good game. So, we have the usual preseason crew. We got Jonathan Ramachan, Ariel Atias, Brian Young, and we have the special guest, the guest of the hour, Twan. Twan speaks.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Corner himself. Twan, how are we doing tonight?
We good, man. I'm feeling a little juiced off the ending of that game. I felt like it was Charlotte. It was preseason. It was over. But my boy Big Yurt and Javante Smart said no. So we feeling good, man.
Yeah, it was very unexpected to say the least. I was not expecting a 13-0 run to end the game, but nevertheless, this team is team of destiny, should we say. Brian, we'll start with you tonight. What did you see from this game? What's your one striking takeaway so far?
It felt like the first preseason game of the year in the sense that it was just really, really sloppy, inefficient basketball from the Heat's perspective, which is fair given the fact that they were basically on fire for the first three games. So I don't take too much from it from that perspective, but it's preseason on a Monday night, so you get what you would expect.
Fair point. It was it was not pretty, but it ended up being a really, really good game. So, Ariel, we'll go to you here. We'll touch on the first player so far for the night. Tyler Hero, 27 minutes, 3 of 15, 0 of 7 from 3. Had about 7 points, minus 18, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. What went right for Tyler Hero tonight?
Not a whole lot, man. It felt like his minutes, I didn't know he was a minus 18, and that actually sounds very accurate. Like his minutes felt like every time that, he was out there. Spo had a lot of, stretches in the game where he's playing 5-man bench lineups, which is not something that he'll do in the regular season. I guess he's just trying to get an extended look at his, backups, his end of rotation guys, see what he likes. But so it put a lot in the hands of Tyler Hero. And I noticed that the Hornets are starting the second and fourth quarter with like LaMelo Ball anchored lineups, so he's not sitting to start those quarters, and that's where like the Hornets really started pulling away in both quarters. And then towards the end of the second quarter, when Spo reinserts Kyle and Bam and those guys, they tighten the game up a little bit. The same happened in the fourth, although it was the Sioux Falls portion of the roster that came back into the game and just cultured it out for the culture and took the W there. But I thought that, look, Tyler was unbelievable. He was scorching earth over the first 3 games of the preseason. I think he was due for a little bit of a clunker. I liked his shot selection in general. He had a lot of good looks, especially those looks at 3. Those are good looks. Like he'll probably shoot 37, 38, 39% on those. So you live with those. Sometimes they don't go in. It's all good. It's the preseason. I thought, again, his quality of looks was fine. It's just, a little bit of regression to the mean overall from the team offensively tonight.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect way to put it. Like Hero, he didn't really look like he played all that bad, although the numbers will tell you he played poorly. I actually was happy with the way that he competed on the defensive end. Like he has been bullied by Ish Smith for the first 2 years of his career. And it felt like tonight, at least in stretches, he stood up to the bully for a little bit. Like there were some moments where he was staying in front of him. He was making Ish Smith pass the ball, which Ish Smith hates doing. So it was actually pretty positive. Jonathan, I don't believe you watched this game. Is that correct?
I literally came in and I watched the best stretch of Heat basketball because the only thing I witnessed was like the 13-0 run of this game. So I watched the best game out of everybody here because I missed all the garbage and I got straight to the good part.
Okay, so based upon what you saw and what we've told you, what are your takeaways from today's game?
I mean, with what I saw, it just shows that we're like we've been talking about previously. We're gonna go undefeated. Our bench just won us the game. They had a 13-0 run to close this game with a game-winning shot and a game-saving defensive block by Potter. I mean, Potter had how many rebounds? He was doing good. Yurt 7 was killing it. These guys on the bench aren't going to be, on a serious note, these guys on the bench aren't going to be major players in the season currently. But I feel like truly as this season goes on with all the youth that we have on the bench and with the confidence that Spo instills in him, and with the G League coming back, and with having this much extra practice, I think some of these guys on the bench really can become something positive, and it can just be better. Late down the season when we need those extra guys on the back of the bench, I think some of these guys will be showing out.
Oh, yeah, specifically one Marcus Garrett, who I want to talk about in a little bit. But thank you, Gio Puglisi. Deadman doing best Joel Anthony impersonation. Wouldn't mind seeing Yurt as the backup. Yeah, Dwayne Dedman looks funny. Let me tell you.
The warden.
He actually looks really funny to watch. He really cannot catch a basketball. And him running and jumping is just non-functional at this point. But that man is playing hard. So you know what? I'll give him credit for that much. He is definitely playing hard. Twan, we'll go to you here. What are your thoughts on Dedman? And should we consider, do you think there's going to be moments in the season where people are clamoring for Omer over Dedman? And it's justified?
I mean, not really it being justified. I think what Dedman gives us is all you could ask for in a backup big. He rebounds, he kind of defends, he kind of protects the rim, and he just doesn't kill your defense or your offense and until Bam gets back in. But in terms of the no hands having thing, that's got to be like a Heat big man. Like, that's the only way you can play for us, because none of our centers ever have hands. Bam just learned how to catch over like the last 2 years or whatever. But him not having any hands, that's just a Heat big thing. So
yeah, it's just been really funny. I love rooting for Dwayne Dedman, but it really is like if he's playing anything more than like 15 minutes a night, it's gonna get really dicey playing those 15 minutes. Brian, we'll go to you here. What did you see from Yurt 7 tonight? Because I know people have kind of been iffy on his preseason performance. What'd you see?
I mean, it feels like when he's getting the opportunity to basically play against a similar level of competition he played against in Summer League, he looks fine. I don't know that would translate against like even fringe NBA talent, but in his few minutes, he looked like a pretty competent center. The basketball in general, I think when we're saying the Skyforce play is iffy, so I don't know if it's a product of that, but hey, he helped win us the game, so I can't really talk smack about Yurt 7. Go ahead. No, I was gonna say, as far as I'm concerned, he's the GOAT. So yeah, shout out to Yurt 7. I don't know if we have a solid nickname for him yet, but
Gad has a couple, my friend.
What? Come on now.
That's
Turk
offensive.
Nowitzki?
Come on.
Turk Nowitzki, Brian? You didn't like that one?
Lil
Turk
Uzi
Nowitzki.
Yurt?
I mean, that's fine. I think I called him Yurty Squirty at one point.
That's
Sword
horrible.
seven.
that's horrible.
Never do that. Never do that, please.
Dirty what?
What?
No.
Just don't. No,
He's wet
never.
from 3. That's all right.
Brian, you have been blocked and reported for that one. I can tell you
It's
that
not-
much.
Oh yeah.
That is not something that, of all the things that I was not expecting to hear today, that is not one of the things I was expecting to hear. Ariel, I'll go to you here. So with Yurt 7, obviously the offense is something that hasn't really been in question. It's just a matter of like, is he catching the ball and is he turning it over? Because if not, I mean, he has a great touch offensively and he knows how to position himself offensively. He's really good on the offensive boards. That's one place where he really thrives. His presence is felt on the boards. But defensively, what have you seen from Yurt 7 and where can he improve, if at all?
I just think he needs to get a little bit quicker. He needs to work on his body a little bit more. He's lost a lot of weight, so for sure he's come a long way. But there's still some more progress. There's still some more to work on there. The lateral quickness is not ideal. He's going to have trouble defensively if he has to do anything other than guard in the post. I noticed that specifically over the preseason games. I didn't feel that way in the summer league, but again, the quality of competition changes as you take a step up there. So, I think defensively, he can function pretty well as a shot blocker on the back line. But if he's asked to do anything, more than 6 to 10 feet away from the basket, I'm not comfortable with it. So, I don't think he's ready at all for, any kind of rotation minutes. I think you'll see him in spot minutes towards the end of games and blowouts and in situations like that. But to expect anything from him this season, I think would be a little bit foolish. But it's fun. I like the nicknames. But yeah, defensively, he's not ready to go.
From the bottom of my heart, thank you very much for appreciating my one nickname that ended up working out. That really means a lot to me. I think there was one possession in specific that stood out, and I think it was Ish Smith that was running the pick and roll. He actually is good at manipulating bigs in pick and roll, so I will.
He is a pain in the butt, man.
He's like
can't.
Ish Smith is a good
dude.
player. I will give it like offense.
Can we RSHK him, or is he too good? Like I feel like he's like right at the cutoff.
Twan, what do you think?
I don't know. I feel like he's that guy, but I don't feel like he's in the elk of like other RSHKs where he like just gives you 45. He's like annoying, like TJ McConnell type annoying, but on the offensive end. So I don't know if he counts.
That's MJ McConnell. Shout out to Royal in the comments.
That's a perfect comparison, actually. Like TJ McConnell on the offensive end, because it's so annoying playing Ish Smith. It's literally death by a million cuts. Because it's just he plays basketball so smartly for 5 minutes and then he comes out. Actually crazy.
You in the Mangeki Sharingan.
Huh?
Wait, what?
All right, nobody's gonna get that.
What on earth?
I didn't even hear a word that you said, if I'm being honest. But welcome back, Jonathan. We missed you.
I feel like Royal or Michael would have gotten that reference, whatever that was.
It's an Naruto reference.
Would have.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yep.
Well,
cool.
Okay, so I want to talk about one player because I think there's been differing opinions on how he played tonight and whatnot. There was differing opinions in the Heat spaces tonight at halftime. Markief Morris. Brian, we'll start with you here. We'll go around the table. What do you think of Markief Morris tonight?
I thought he had I don't want to say really good. He had a good game. He had a good game for Markief Morris. And I think that coming into the season, the idea of Markief Morris might have been, I guess, what PJ Tucker would have been minus the defense. I mean, I think that he looks a lot better. No, trust me. I was saying Markief Morris is not a good player. I don't have any faith in Markief Morris. But when he's 15 feet and in from the basket, he looks fine on offense sometimes. I think that he's not a bad post defender because he's a big, strong guy. I mean, I don't trust him on the perimeter at all, right? But it's one of those games where he looks decent. And I think that objectively, there's probably going to be less of those games than the bad Lakers cut him because he sucks games, or didn't cut him, but didn't re-sign him because he sucks games. But for tonight, I thought he was pretty okay. Still a -10 for what it's worth, but you know.
Hey, if we want to get into plus minus, I will give a shout out to historically efficient Micah Potter, +10 in 3 minutes. I don't even know how that happens.
You're forgetting something.
I love basketball.
We talking plus minus from this game.
Are we talking?
He's in my name. If we can put our screen names up here.
Javonte Smart.
Yes, sir.
What was his plus minus again?
+13 in like a couple minutes.
All the minutes that he played.
Whole run.
That's a winner. That is a winner.
Ball is amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, Sioux Falls is going to be fun. Must-see TV. I know I'm going to be watching a few of those games in the dog days of the season. I do want to give a shout out to another Sioux Falls player before we keep moving to the actual Miami Heat rotation. This one kind of teeter-totters on both teams. Marcus Garrett. Like, he only played a few minutes, but I actually thought he did a really, really good job. Twan, what did you say?
5 assists in 6 minutes.
Huh?
He had 5 assists in 6 minutes.
Did he?
Yep,
that's
correct.
what somebody said in the chat. That's tough.
He's gonna have 30. He's gonna have 30 assists every 36 minutes he plays.
That's math right there. Oh my gosh! Let me fact check that.
No, it's good. It was 5 assists in 6 minutes. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Wow.
But as far as like Garrett overall, I didn't even know that, bro. Yeah, that makes this night way more impressive. I've always liked Garrett. I always thought like he was going to be the two-way guy ever since he was coming out, like when undrafted and everything like that. Like, I love the dude. Obviously, perimeter defense is what it is, but if he can do anything like that offensively, like he's way more valuable. Where he can just be more than just a defensive guy that you throw out on guards and everything like that.
Yeah, that's probably the perfect way to put it. Like, if he can give you something offensively, it kind of gives you like a mulligan on the KZ Okpala thing. They don't play the same position, but just having a defensive menace that can actually be playable would be huge, regardless of the position. Because Spo likes to be positionless.
He's like if Avery Bradley was good.
Yeah, pretty much, right? Like, that's what you want to see. So that's expert analysis, Jonathan Ramakan. Let me tell you. That's fantastic. So we'll get to the actual Miami Heat basketball roster. Talked about Markief Morris a little bit. Ariel, we'll go to you here. What did you think of Markief Morris?
I thought that was easily, obviously that was easily his best game of the preseason, definitely for the Heat. I thought that, like Brian, I think it was Brian, right? Brian had mentioned that, everything above or rather below the free throw line, below the elbow, it was money. Like he seems very comfortable with that jump shot. As long as he keeps things simple, doesn't try to dribble too much, doesn't try to do too much. Like you feel a little bit better about the looks he's getting when he catches and shoots threes in rhythm. Like he's not going to be an upper 30s 3-point shooter for the Heat, but he'll make a couple of them here and there. And then again, below the free throw line, like that, he made that mid-range upper a couple of times. I think he had a few rebounds. He had like 6 or 7 rebounds tonight. I like this game. I like the fact that he's also looking to take advantage of mismatches down low. He's calling for the ball, and he's doing it generally like within the flow of the game. It's not like he's just posting up in the middle of possessions and asking for the ball. It's kind of like, there's a scramble situation and there's a mismatch and he's got a wing or a smaller guard on him and he's calling for the ball. He turns, hook shot, push shot, whatever. Those are good looks for him. So as long as he keeps it simple, the Heat are not going to use him in a massive role. I've mentioned before that I think that by the end of the season, they'll be adding a player off the buyout market and probably a player for the, to add to the forward rotation so that maybe that minimizes his role a little bit unless he unexpectedly has a really good season for the Heat. So, based on what they need from him, if he can give them like 80% of what he gave them tonight, that's like ideal production you can expect from him. I don't really think it'll be there to that extent, but I thought that was a good game for him.
Yeah, he really did look good. He was passing the ball well, kind of playing smart, like you said, just within the offense. That's all you really want. You don't want him to take away from anything else. Brian, we'll go back to you here. What did you see from Gabe Vincent? I know there's been some slander in the comments. I see it. I don't want to acknowledge it. What did you see?
Extremely neutral player, which I am totally cool with. That's all I need from Gabe Vincent. I think he had, I think he only got like 1 or 2 times. There wasn't much from Gabe Vincent. He didn't try creating really, which is fine. I don't really want Gabe Vincent as a creator, but if he can hit open shots and hit middies when he has them, that's cool. And he hit one tonight, and I am cool with that. But Gabe Vincent for having an incredibly decent game in his 10-ish minutes. I don't think he played a whole lot tonight, but
okay. So I probably heard about 23% of what you said, but I think I got the key points out of it. So you said Gabe Vincent was a neutral. He hit a pull-up midi, and if he can hit open shots, it's a positive.
Yes.
And you were happy that he hit the pull-up midi, so it was okay for you tonight.
Correct. That's all I want from Gabe Vincent. He just has to be literally like he just has to exist and not mess things up on the court. That's all I want from Gabe Vincent. That's all I expect. That's all I want, and he's very capable of doing it. I did that tonight, so yeah.
Okay. Twan, are you comfortable with Gabe Vincent giving you that type of production, at least until Victor Oladipo's back?
I'm nervous about Gabe because he's going to be on the court. Typically, if let's just say they're not going to be running together all the time, but you got Gabe, Markief Morris, and Dwayne Dedmon all on the floor at the same time. If Gabe isn't hitting like he hasn't in like years past, like it could get very bad in terms of like the spacing, because then Tyler has to create everything. And then obviously Strus can hit, but it's going to be a whole lot on them in order to, create spacing out of nothing. Because if Gabe isn't hitting, you can help there. If Markief, you want to leave him open at the 3-point line, you can help there. And then Dwayne obviously is a non-shooter, so you can help there. And it gets bad. Hopefully Gabe is hitting jump shots. That's really what's going to be key for him this year. If he's hitting, then we're fine. If not, then it can look really bad.
Yeah, we're gonna need. I'm praying on Victor Oladipo's quad. Jonathan, do you think Gabe Vincent can give us those? Let's say Oladipo's out for half the season, those 40 some odd games of backup point guard production where it doesn't completely crater the roster.
Yeah, I do think so, because we've seen Gabe Vincent already make big leaps in the G League before, and now I know that's a G League, but he won the most improved there, right? And he had a jump of about 13 or 14 points from one season to the next. So I think coming in this season, having had a season under his belt, going from a 2-way contract to a standard contract, sure, he's going to look rusty right now. He's still finding his role as that true backup behind Kyle Lowry, and it's preseason as well. But I think as the season goes on, he's going to find his role as kind of the backup 3-and-D, guy you can put next to Hero, who's going to be doing most of the creating anyways. That's going to fit pretty well because he gives you a lot on defense. I feel like he's going to He's going to continue to get better on that end. And once that shooting and once that shot gets more consistent, he'll be good to go. Like if you watch him like in the G League, that boy can shoot. If he can translate that over, it's going to be a really good something great that we can have off the bench. And I think, like I said, he's going to take some time, but he does have the potential to definitely do it.
Yeah, it's so weird that Gabe Vincent's shot has not been able to translate at all from the G League. Like his highlights from the G League look like Wayne Ellington.
It's Steph
prime
Curry.
Wayne Ellington. And he gets to the Miami Heat, and I don't even know who to compare him to. Like, who does he shoot like outside of Shaquille O'Neal?
But he's not being used that way, though. He's not really being used in a Wayne Ellington role. A lot of those lineups, he either has the ball in his hands or Tyler's creating, but it's not like they're running a bunch of pin downs for Gabe Vincent to come flying off and get good looks at three. So it's a little bit of a different role. They're more set shots.
But set shots should be easier. No,
should be, sure.
Thing.
Right, but I mean, like Duncan Robinson, do you feel more comfortable with Duncan shooting a straight up catch and shoot three or flying off of a dribble handoff or a pin down for an in rhythm three?
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Duncan can shoot any three.
I bet I am doing eye test theater over here. I bet if you looked at the numbers, that Duncan shoots a higher percentage on movement threes as opposed to just like where he's in the corner or at the top of the arc and the ball just finds him.
Okay, so let's check your eye test here. Twan, do you agree or disagree with Ariel?
I agree.
Okay, there you go. You're right. So that's very easy.
That settles that.
That's how we do it.
Simple enough.
That's how we check the eye test. But yeah, set shots should be easier. Set shots should be easier. Set shots should be easier. Thank you very much, Tony. Thank you very much. Yeah, the whole Gabe conundrum with him not being able to hit shots is very interesting. But hopefully he's able to turn around because ultimately that shot is going to have a big impact on what our bench does for the beginning part of the season. He's only going to be getting 15 to
18
minutes a game.
Yeah, no way more than that. Yeah.
That's max. So if he can just either not shoot the ball or be relatively efficient in limited shots and only take really good shots, then that's fine. Let's talk about Bam.
Yes.
Let's talk about Bam Adebayo.
My guy.
Brian, your guy.
Yes.
What did you see from Bam tonight?
I've seen this is tonight and all preseason. Bam is so aggressive. I have no idea what flipped in his brain, but it's like we're looking at a completely different player mentally. Like we always knew that the skill was there. We always knew that the strength, the athletic, all that stuff is there, but now he's actually taking all of that and being forceful. Like it feels like Bam views himself as the first option, right? And with I just can't not rave about this. I am so excited. I'm so happy for Bam. Like we've seen so many times last year where Bam gets a switch on a smaller guy, right? And he passes the ball out. This year, he does not give a damn who is on him. He's going right at them. It's beautiful to see. I think there's that one possession where he was at the rim. He missed, got the rebound. I don't know. I think, did he miss the second shot? But either way, he followed up a shot eventually and won, right? Just the force he's playing with is a beauty to behold this season. And I think it's going to translate into some really, really great things this year. All NBA Bam.
I think we had this conversation last post game, but I said Bam is going to finish All NBA. Brian, do you think that happens this year? Do you think he gets third team?
Yeah, All NBA Bam.
All NBA Bam. Is that where we're starting? Is that a hashtag? I think you just did something there.
Ooh,
All NBA Bam. Easy.
It should be.
There's a nice ring to it. So Twan, what did you see from Bam tonight?
Oh man, I've been waiting to talk about this all day. Bam. Aggressive Bam is I don't want to get too ridiculous. It's one game. Hopefully we can see it all season. Like he's done it during the preseason, but he's top 3 center in the league right now behind Jokic and Embiid if he's this aggressive because nobody can stop him. He's faster than bigger centers and he can bully all of these smaller centers. You want to get a mismatch on him, he's bullying that every time now, which is what we wanted to see from Bam. It was never the skill. It was never does he have the ability to do it? It was always the aggression. He was looking away from the basket when he had a guard on him. Like that's a problem. You can't do that. And now he's not doing that. And it's unlocked so much of his game. It's almost like the addition of Kyle Lowry was not for Jimmy Butler. As good friends as they are, their games kind of complement each other. But in terms of like Kyle Lowry and Bam, that is a perfect hand in glove fit, a match made in heaven. It's all we wanted for Bam. He forces Bam to be aggressive. He forces Bam to go to the rim. Like everything we wanted to see from Bam was unlocked with the Kyle Lowry signing. So I'm more than excited. I can't wait for the season. He's gonna be top 3 All NBA Bam. Let's go.
Yes, let's go, Twan.
sir.
Let's go.
Preach on him,
Fire up
baby.
the energy. Oh my gosh. So you said one thing that I really, really liked there. I mean, I liked everything that you said, but there was one thing that really, really stuck out where I'm like, damn, that's a great sentence. Jimmy or the Kyle Lowry being brought to Miami helps, or is not for Jimmy. It was for Bam. And that actually makes so much sense. Like, obviously, they're best friends and whatnot. Ariel, do you believe this to be true? Like, is Kyle Lowry's biggest impact going to be on Bam, or is it also going to be equal to Jimmy? Or because we just haven't seen it yet?
Well, we haven't seen it in extended periods with Jimmy, but I don't worry so much about Jimmy. Like, Jimmy's super malleable. You can trust him with the ball in his hands. He can play off the ball. Like, Jimmy's going to eat either way, but I agree fully with Twan. And I mean, we've been talking about this for a while, and that like the impact that he's going to have on Bam's game is substantial. Like, if you're able to, Bam's never been put in a position where he has like a quarterback, a point guard who's just not just like finding him in the right spots, which Kyle does, but he's looking for him. Like, he's actively looking for him all game long. That is his number one option. Like, it's like, a great quarterback has his number one receiver, and like that's the dude that he is looking for. And then if it's not there, he'll look off and go to his secondary reads and whatnot. With Kyle and Bam, it's like Kyle is constantly looking for Bam. Again, just the weaponization, I hope that's a word, of Bam Adebayo in the fast break and in transition, where Kyle's able to get in there, grab the rebound, and then he's looking for Bam, just puts Bam in positions that he just hasn't been put in yet in his career. And you see the development with his body. We talked about this on the last post-game show. You see that he's gotten bigger. He looks a little bit stronger. The aggression is there. Sometimes as a player, like we were harping on this all season last year, even though the scoring went up, even though the shot attempts went up, the field goal percentage, the efficiency, everything went up. We still wanted more because we know he's capable of doing more. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you just get a full off season, just a standard regular NBA off season, especially if you're a young player. We've seen this with Tyler Hero so far, where like you just step away from the game. Bam knows what it is that he needs to work on. He's got really, really smart people in his ear. He's, surrounded by some of the best coaches and some of the smartest teammates in the NBA. He knows what it is that he needs to work on. It seems like he's worked on it so far. The emphasis on getting him the ball more in spots where he's able to score, in positions where he is, he's put in positions to be successful. And then when it's not necessarily just Kyle finding him or whoever finding him, he's catching the ball. They're running more sets where he's looking to score. Like, it's evident. Like, he has the option to, motion for a dribble handoff or look for somebody else. He is looking to score the basketball. And I think with all the other things that we mentioned, the improvement physically in his body, I just think he's primed for a massive, massive season.
Man, yeah, they ran empty side ISO for Bam. What has that ever happened before?
But we've seen those skills. He's shown those skills. Like, right, that's exactly the game I was going to point out. Like, we've seen him be able to do that. We know it's there. It's just a matter of him doing it more often. And I just think he's in a position where he's empowered to do it more. And I think that we really see the next step, the next evolution in his game this season.
Oh, I'm so excited. Like, talking about Bam just really genuinely gets me fired up because we all know it's there. Everybody knows it's there. It's like, it seemed like last year, the only person that didn't know it was there was him. And there was moments where he would show you what he was capable of doing. And if we're able to get that, like, it changes the dynamic of this team completely.
But like, I just want to jump in on one thing. I'm sorry. I don't like the narrative that like he's the only one who doesn't know that it's there, because like, let's all be honest here. He shot more shots last year than he did the season prior. Not a ton more, but I mean, he's taking more shots. The offensive response, right? Like, it was there. It's just, if he's never been that guy, he wasn't that guy in college. He wasn't that guy the first 3 seasons in his career. Like, you're not going to go from that to just being the man who's looking to score and, drop 25 every night in one season. There's a progression there. It's not linear. So
no, I'm with you. Last year, we agreed on this on the post-game shows all the time last year. Like, that is the progression that we wanted to see. We saw flashes of it last year. It was just frustrating when you see those flashes, and then 2 games later against the Atlanta Hawks, Bam has like 6 points through 3 quarters against Clint Capella, where he can be barbecuing that guy on the mid-post if he wants to. But it looks like we're getting to that point where he doesn't have a choice. He himself doesn't feel like he has a choice, where we Jonathan, I'm going to go to you here, and I guess we'll go around the table. Do you think this could be the year where we look at Bam as being the best player on the Miami Heat as opposed to Jimmy Butler?
Yes, because he's going to be put in the position to succeed this year. We see so much more easy baskets coming out of, like you guys were talking about, the addition of Kyle Lowry. So now, on top of his defensive player of the level of the year, level prowess, he's going to be adding an offensive repertoire where he's running down the field right off of somebody getting a rebound. And like you said, he's either too fast for the center in front of him, or he's going to be a mismatch for the other guy that switches onto him. So if he continues to do what he's been doing in the preseason, if Kyle continues to feed him, if he continues to be aggressive and draw fouls and do everything, he really could have like a 25, 10, and 6 or 5 year. And we were talking about it last year. We were talking about it in the chat. He can have a LeBron-esque stat line. Like,
I was waiting for this to come up. I just didn't want to be the one to bring it up. Ramakan, I got your back, bro. Go run with it.
Bam is baby LeBron. And I will preach that shit until the numbers are going to prove it. The numbers are going to prove it this year. He put on 15 more pounds. That boy is heavy. That boy is athletic. He can pass the ball. He can rebound. He can work in the post. He has a jumper. He's bringing that range out. He's going to develop into a player like stat line wise. He's going to be LeBron-esque. Y'all can't say shit because I'm going to keep sticking to my guns with that. Bam is a baby LeBron.
And right now, before the chat goes crazy and everyone starts screaming, y'all do understand that when you say baby LeBron or Walmart or like Kmart version of whatever, you're not saying he's LeBron. We're just saying that like a lot of the skills are there. That's all. We're not saying he's LeBron.
If he gets like 25, 10, and 5,
that is 80, bro. Okay, if it's 20, hold up. If it's 24, hold up. No, he's right. If it's 24, 10, and 6, is that not like 80% or 90% of LeBron's production? Like, how is that an inaccurate statement?
Okay, that is in that case, that's not an inaccurate statement. But I'm not going into the season. I don't want to set myself up with expectations that I'm going to be disappointed on. Like, I'm not going into the season saying,
fans, this is what we do, man.
Bam. No, none of that. Okay. We have a positive outlook on this season. We don't need to do this already.
Yes, we do.
It is October 11th.
82-0.
Okay. If Bam puts up 25, 10, and 5.
Eating 5.
Arlene knows what's up. Arlene is definitely right there with it.
That's right.
Oh, we're gonna love him more than LeBron. That's no question. There's absolutely no question. But like, we don't have to do this. Brian, I know you're a huge Bam guy. Do you think it's fair to Bam to compare him to LeBron 10 days before the season starts?
We did this last season.
Yeah, I mean, I think from the perspective of skill set, absolutely. I mean, and size. I mean, he's about LeBron's size, right? So I think that if you're just talking about like what he can do on a basketball court and, just the size and I mean, the versatility, I think that those are fair comparisons. I don't know about the stat. It's hard, right? Because LeBron is arguably the greatest player of all time. So it's always difficult to say like this guy is like LeBron because those are incredibly astronomically high, even for a guy like Bam, expectations that no one is ever going to live up to. But from a certain perspective, I mean, I see it. I don't want to go all the way with it because it's just hard to live up to, and I don't want to set Bam up for failure. But I definitely get the comparison. I think that in a lot of ways that makes sense. Yeah.
I love Twisted's comment. It's so appropriate. I mean, look at us, man. You know that meme? Look at us. When Jonathan and I brought this up on post game last year, we got flamed. Everyone got mad at us. You're saying Bam is better than LeBron or he's going to be as good as LeBron. No, guys, we're just saying a lot of the skill sets there. Sky's the limit for Bam. We like, that's all it is. We don't need to go crazy here. But if y'all want to jump off the deep end with the predictions and the hope trafficking, I'm with it. Greg Sylvander's not here, but I'm here. I'm here to do it.
I just want to add one more thing. 80% of a LeBron stat line looks like about 21.6 points, 5.6 assists, and 5.6 rebounds.
Correct.
So those are all numbers that Bam could clear.
Okay, so that's totally fair. Ariel was throwing 25, 10, and 5.
No, I'm saying that if it okay, do you not believe that at a certain, we're not saying like right now. I mean,
we're talking about this season, Ariel.
I think it's
about this season.
I think it's possible, but do we not, my question to you is, do you not think that over the next 3 years, as Bam starts entering his prime, that he couldn't be a 24, 10, and 6?
Absolutely he can.
Correct.
Ariel, we've talked about this before.
Going.
I believe it is completely feasible. Like, it is not crazy for it to happen down the road. We just talked about the progressions being year over year. You can't expect too much out of them.
I don't think he's LeBron this season. That's not
okay. Thank you. That is what I was.
For being entirely honest, that's not what I'm saying at all.
Jonathan's making a face at me here. Jonathan, do you think he's LeBron this season? Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm making a face because you keep saying LeBron. I said baby LeBron.
Correct.
Like
that's my point.
I said baby LeBron. I'm not saying he's being LeBron. I said baby LeBron. It's like a step down. Like Ariel said, it's a Kmart version. It's a little bit lower. 22 to 24, 8 to 10 rebounds, 4 to 6 assists. That's not that. That's not.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I'm glad we're all on the same page here because there were some varying perspectives, and things were going a little bit crazy. That's all I'm gonna say. I like the Anthony Davis with playmaking comparison more, but
Mari Stoudemire with defense and ball handling.
Kevin Garnett.
I don't know. Mari was. I don't know. Actually, I take.
It's like if you took Steph Curry, you put him in a 6'9", 260 body,
and he stopped shooting threes.
Playmaking, no shooting, took away some handle and some free throw shooting. Then like very similar comparison there, right?
I see that. I see. That's the one I was thinking of too.
You see it, yeah.
Where are we
23,
at
10, 5, 1, 1, totally reasonable.
And dude, if he makes a jump, I mean, like a jump from 19 a game to 23 a game, like that's massive. Like if you see Bam at 23, that's a huge improvement.
Oh yeah. I just don't know that the assists are going to be there this year. It doesn't look like. I mean, obviously he's going to be one of the best passing bigs in the league, but it feels like he's in a lot of ways giving that responsibility up to Kyle Lowry, which I think is what's allowing him to be this aggressive on offense. So the 5 assists, I think it's probably going to be down to maybe 3.5, but all the other numbers are going to be there.
That feels low.
Can I reply to that?
Yeah.
I think as he learns, as defensive learns that he's going to be more aggressive, he's going to have a higher gravity than he had before. And with his playmaking ability and understanding when he has players coming to him, he's going to have an easier time finding. So now when Kyle Lowry finds him in a mismatch and he has to have another player come over to help, he's going to find that open guy. And I think, I understand your point where he's, deferring a lot of the playmaking over to Kyle Lowry, but I think Kyle Lowry's going to have a lot of hockey assists because he's going to pass it to Bam, who draws 2, and then he fires it out to a Hero or a Duncan or somebody else. So I think those assists will still be there because just the way that he plays is a ton of ball movement.
Yeah, I do generally think you're right. I don't think his, like, if we're talking actual numbers, I don't think it goes down to like 3 a game, but I do think I wouldn't expect him to be at 6 assists or more this season. I think he's probably around where he was last season or a little bit less. You're right. A lot of the ball, he's being put in positions to score more than he was used as like an offensive hub, over the last couple of seasons, who could also score when he wanted to. I think this season, again, I think, like Spo's running a lot of these 5-man bench lineups in the preseason. I think in the regular season, the guy that staggers with those bench lineups is going to be Jimmy. I think it's Jimmy. I think it's Jimmy, and I think that you get a lot of Bam Kyle lineups with the starters, and then you got Jimmy with the backups. And so if Bam's on the court with Kyle for most of his minutes, we know what the dynamic is there. Kyle's looking for Bam. So I do think that, the actual assists go down a little bit, but the scoring goes up.
Okay, that's a really interesting point you brought up. Brian.
To that point, I feel like there were numbers showed that Hero played better with Jimmy on the court. I don't have that in front of me. I don't know if anybody.
No, you're right. I don't remember the number itself, but that was a thing. Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's check the eye test here. Let's check the eye test. Twan, do you think Hero played better with Jimmy on the court?
Yes.
Okay, so you guys are right.
Absolutely. There you go.
I love how easy it is. We need one of those that was easy buttons.
So wait, let's go around the horn here. Who do you guys think is of the Heat's big 3, right? Who do you think is the stagger guy, the guy who's anchoring a lot of those bench lineups? He comes out of the game first in the substitution pattern and then re-enters when guys like Hero, whatever, come off the bench. Who is I think it's Jimmy. What do you guys think?
You said who's the odd man out?
not the odd man out, but like who is the stagger guy? Who is the of the Heat's three best players? Who is the guy that's anchoring a lot of those bench lineups? Because we know Spo is not going to go with 5 bench guys for extended minutes like ever. I think one of Kyle, Bam, Jimmy plays with those lineups a lot of their minutes.
Yeah, I think you're there. I think you're right with Jimmy because, like Twan was saying, the addition of Kyle Lowry is really for Bam Adebayo. So now you can have that going, right? You just add maybe a stretch. You put in a Max Strus, another guy that can stretch the floor next to them. And then now you have Jimmy coming off the bench. And I mean, we heard the stories with Jimmy and the bench lineup over in Minnesota. Jimmy, Tyler, and the bench mob here in Miami is going to kill it. Like that's going to be a fun bench, quote unquote bench, right? Because you're going to have most of the starters off. And I think staggering it that way, I think we're going to have a lot of fun, different, unique lineups that we're going to see this year from Spo.
I might be the only person here that thinks it's going to be Bam. Just because I know Spo likes to, first of all, play Bam for very extended periods of time. And I mean, I just think it makes a lot of sense where you don't want to be giving your centers a ton of run. Like, you don't want Dedmon playing more than like 12 to 15 minutes a game. You don't want Markief Morris playing more than like 12 to 15 minutes a game, honestly. So Bam is going to be the guy. I think he's going to anchor a lot of those lineups, and they'll just shift around him when they play small ball, unless you start seeing some lineups where there's 2 bigs on the court at once.
Right.
Like, I think that's just the way that Spo's always operated. But I'm cool with whatever it will be. Like, I'm fine with either one. But that is a really interesting question because I think that's going to be one of the things that we don't know what's going to happen yet. It would make sense for it to be Jimmy, but I think the way that Spo's done things in the past, I would expect it to be Bam going into the season. Brian, did you comment on this?
Oh yeah, no, I think it's going to be Jimmy.
Tough.
Yeah.
I guess I'm alone here.
I think Jimmy, because like your backup wing is really your weakest spot. So you're gonna need Jimmy to fill those minutes. I think Jimmy's gonna play a whole lot of 4 this year. You're going to see against certain teams, you're going to see him and Markief. You're going to see him, Strus, and Dedmon. I think you're going to see a whole lot of Jimmy at the 4 simply because like that backup wing is so questionable. And the returns on like the Markief Dedmon minutes have been up and down. And I don't think you can play that against most like real NBA teams. Like I think like Milwaukee will eat that up, like stuff like that. So I think it'll be Jimmy simply because like that's your weakest spot, and then have Kyle and Bam, run with the rest of the guys.
I get that. It totally makes sense. I want to get to one question here from my guy Sup123654. Always in the comments. Shout out Sup with all the numbers. Do you guys think Duncan will be moved back to the bench when Depot comes back?
No. It's a fit thing. Duncan's just perfect in that starting 5. Perfect. Low usage. He's just in there to fire up threes. He's got a bunch of guys who can, create really good shots for him, and he's phenomenal at creating his own. I wouldn't say creating his own shots, definitely not off the bounce, but like he gets himself into positions where he gets good looks. So, but without needing the ball. So I just think it's a really good fit in the first 5. And I kind of like the fit. We talked about this as well. I think it was the last post game show. I like the fit with Vic off the bench because you can have him on the ball next to Tyler Hero. You can also have Tyler Hero on the ball and have Vic function kind of as a cutter and a floor spacer because he shot really, really well last season on catch and shoot threes. So I think Vic comes off the bench, and I think to expect anything more would be a little bit unfair from him coming back from that injury.
So Ariel laid that out perfectly. My guy Sub followed up with a follow-up question, which is actually where I wanted to go with this too. But a healthy Depot closes over Duncan, right? And then it's probably Tyler in that lineup, and you're playing small?
I think it depends on the matchup. It's an option.
Depends if you're winning or losing as well. I think
do you need to get stops? Go ahead. Yeah.
Sorry. If you're up like 5 and you need to close out a game, you probably have Depot to try to get the clamps. But if you're down a score or 2, you need a 3-point shot, you have Duncan in there. So I think that's where that'll vary.
Versatility. I love this.
Yeah, for sure.
Is this going to be the year that Spo wins Coach of the Year?
I was thinking about that the other day. How, to be regarded as one of the better coaches of all time, definitely, I think he's obviously widely regarded as the best coach in the NBA today. And to not have a Coach of the Year, I know I think it was the coaches that had voted him like co-coach of the year. What was it, like 2 seasons ago or something like that? But he didn't get it from the media. At a certain point, I think he's due to get one.
I think if we get top 3 or top 4 in the East, we get it. Twan, go ahead.
I think that'll be it. If we get like a top 3 seed, I think they won't be able to ignore it like they have in years past. Like Spo has been a phenomenal coach, but then if you pull up with a 5 or 6 seed, then it's kind of hard to be like, you know what, this guy was amazing. Unless you're like the Hawks, right? And they do what they did. And being in the middle of the pack doesn't help anybody. So if we're a top 3 seed, I don't see why they wouldn't give it to him. I feel like Budenholzer, like he's done. He got his or whatever. So yeah, we're supposed about dude.
That's what they need, y'all. We need John Wall.
We need John Wall, baby.
We taking John Wall.
You blocked.
No,
I can't lie though. Imagine how fun it would be to watch John Wall off the bench.
I think I talked myself into John Wall on a buyout.
On a buyout?
Oh, absolutely.
On a buyout. Hell yeah.
Oh my God.
100%. But then, then you got a little bit of a log jam. You got a little bit of a guard log jam in the backcourt, right? Like between him, Vic, and Tyler. Somebody's going to be the odd man out. I think so. Like, how many lineups can you run there with those 3 on the court at the same time?
A lot.
I feel like you feel comfortable having Vic guard up, right? So, if you're slotting him in as the 3 on defense, he could probably make it work in some lineups. Maybe.
You need one of those 3 guys to become a good catch and shoot player. Odds are
Vic is already that though.
I know, but we don't really know with Vic.
Right. We kind of do.
I have absolutely no idea what he's going to look like when he's back.
That's true.
But if he was shooting 40% on catch and shoots on one leg,
now if we do that, right? He's going to become Klay Thompson
on 2 legs. Imagine.
He's Steph Curry.
Literally.
You got to double his percentage from last year. He's going to be shoot 80% on catch and shoot.
Oh my God.
Jonathan, honestly, I can't argue with your mathematics there. But I'll put it through my calculator. Twan, do you think he would shoot 80% on catch and shoot with 2 legs?
Say it.
We need an answer.
Yes.
Let's go.
Okay. So Jonathan, that was very good. That was a very good job. So we're at like 45 minutes. We haven't talked about what actually happened in the game for about a good 25 of those minutes. So anybody got any last thoughts on this game? Brian, we haven't heard from you in a minute.
On this game?
Or in general, on the Heat.
In general,
on whatever happened today, honestly.
How was your day, Brian? You had a good day?
Yeah, it just worked. I want to give a take, but I don't know if it's...
Let's go.
Yeah.
Fire it up. What is it? I'm ready.
I think... Okay, I have two. Yes. Bam next year, best offensive player, best defensive player. That's not really out there. That's very possible.
You mean the Heat? Yeah, huh? You mean the Heat's best.
On the Heat, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think a big part of that is because Jimmy's going to take a major step back willingly. I don't think it's going to be because of age or anything like that. Like, I think that Jimmy is going to defer a lot to Bam and Kyle this year. And yeah, that's my take.
Wait, sorry, I did not hear that.
What, that Jimmy's going to take a step back? I think his numbers aren't going to look great this year. Like, I don't know. I think it's still going to be like an all-star. But I think we might see like a, 16-5-5 season from Jimmy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Before the 4 for 181 kicks in, you know how angry Twitter will be if that happens?
But he's still going to be really good. Like, Twitter can be pissed, but whatever.
I will literally have to delete that app daily.
That is such a good point. Heat Twitter will be on like in absolute shambles if they do anything short of win a championship and Jimmy has like a 17-5-5, 17-6-5 type season. It is over.
What do we think the stat line is going to be for Kyle Lowry this year?
18-8-5 and 2 steals.
Ooh, it's a lot of points.
18 points?
I'm going like 14.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a lot of points.
Yes, Brian. Yeah,
14-4-9 is my guess.
4-9. I like that. Maybe 5 if he's boxing out efficiently.
Maybe, yeah.
I like 15-8-5, 8 assists.
Oh, way to differentiate.
Round it out, yeah.
Ariel.
That's where I'm at.
Brian instead.
No,
Juan, what do you got?
14 too low.
I'm kind of there. I think he's gonna have like 16, I think he might lead the league in assists this year.
I can
Very
see that.
possible. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I think he'll do like 16, 5, and 10 for real.
16, 5, and 10. Damn. So
Wow.
he's.
I think he leads the league in assists this year.
So is he a sleeper MVP candidate the same way Chris Paul has been in his last 2 seasons?
No, because he's not 45. So he's close, but he's not 45, and he's
35.
He has a ring. So
He is 35 years old, and Milwaukee Bucks fans think he's 39 years old. So whatever that means. This one's kind of way out in left field, but I've just been thinking about this. Who's the one team that you guys want to see in the playoffs? Jonathan, we'll start with you.
Wow, put me on the spot. I think Boston, right? Because we can create the most mismatches with Boston with Kyle Lowry now. And I mean, if you're talking, like Eastern Conference Finals or semifinals,
At any point,
you want to avoid Brooklyn if Brooklyn is healthy and Kyrie plays and he does everything with that. You probably still want to avoid Milwaukee a little bit just because due to the talent, right? The talent's still there regardless whether you like them or not. I mean, it's still there. I would say probably Boston gives us the easiest matchup. They don't have, Al Horford is okay, but Bam would cook Al Horford, and who else do they have on the big rotation there? So I think we would just see another series kind of like what we did in the bubble where Bam just goes absolutely nuts. And if we see him take a step this year, he's going to take that extra half step in the playoffs against him. He could probably have his best playoff series to date if we play them.
Very true. Very true. Brian, who would you want to see in the playoffs?
Hornets, whoever the worst team is.
Come on now.
That is such a Brian answer.
Real answer. Low key, on the lowest of key. This depends on Kyrie Irving being a smart person. I kind of want to see the Nets. I just want to see what would happen in that series. I feel like it'd be chaos. Like a game 7 in Brooklyn without Kyrie Irving, I feel so confident in. I shouldn't because of Kevin Durant and James Harden, but I really do. So that's my real answer.
Okay, Ariel, who do you got?
You guys are a bunch of cowards. I want the Sixers in the first round. Then I want the Bucks in the second round. And then I want the Nets in the Eastern Conference Final so that Kyrie has an extra 2 weeks to get his shit together, get vaccinated so that the Heat can spank them in 5.
I love it.
Okay, that was a cultured answer.
That is
100%.
Greg would love that answer.
Ariel stole my take. I wanted 76ers in the first round to get. We've never beaten them in the playoffs since they've been processed.
They beat themselves. It's fine.
No,
Yeah.
didn't they? Oh yeah, you're right. Since the process, you're right.
Yeah,
Since the process. Yeah. So I want to beat them in the first round. Send them home. We need a dub back against Milwaukee because we embarrassed them and then they embarrassed us right back. So we gotta break the tie. And then of course we want Brooklyn. No, and then I want the Lakers in the finals. We just get all our dubs back.
You guys want a really hard path.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what
What is this?
like,
We
I want
want
to
the
win.
path of most culture. That's what we want.
I want to win. Path of least resistance.
I mean, I'll take a Milwaukee Bucks path from last year. Who did they play in the first round? Orlando.
They got the first year they played against us.
Orlando was the season was
Brooklyn.
the year before.
Us. It was us. Who was after that? Brooklyn. I didn't want that. Well, Brooklyn with the injuries. I'd take that. And then Atlanta. Oh, I'll take that path.
I don't like Trae Young matchup, honestly. He's one of those. I love Kyle Lowry. Yo, let me talk. Don't shake your head. I love Kyle Lowry, but I think Gad was talking about it in the other preseason game we had. Like Lowry he's a good body defensive player, but when it comes to somebody with speed, it's a little bit harder for him. And I mean that's just a potent athletic team. Like that's not what you kind of want to play. I mean, give me Boston, bro. Give me Boston all day. They're soft, like no bigs. I got Plus, I hate Boston.
You want the path of least culture,
Well,
just like
I'm actually shocked.
I hope that a high school team somehow finds a way into the Eastern Conference Finals. I would like to win.
The Knicks are the Knicks will make the playoffs this year, bro. Trust me.
I'll play the Knicks too. I don't have any faith in them.
No one said the Knicks. I'm actually shocked. That's
That's
team I
too
want in the
easy.
first round.
That's a sweep.
They won't be there.
They're gonna celebrate after losing by the least amount of points. They'll lose by like 5 after getting swept, and then they'll have confetti go off like they did in 2013.
Yeah, when those losers won Game 4 after being down 3-0. Get out of here,
Dude. I want to play the Knicks round 1. Nice little tune-up series. Hero has a 30 bomb at MSG. Everyone's going crazy. He's the second coming. Nah. And then we go to Milwaukee, and we get revenge.
Mm-hmm.
In one, it would be a dogfight of a series. Like 6-7 games. No team looks that much better than the other. Ultimate dogfight. Jimmy Butler, step back, pull up 3. He airballs it. Bam gets the rebound, up and under, slam and 1. We win the series.
Isn't that what happened tonight at the end of the game? Somebody missed a shot, that ball got fumbled around, and then we ended up with an and 1 to win the game.
So yeah, pretty much what happened today. Just like put the actual NBA players in the situation, and that's what will happen. So, yeah, I want to see the Knicks round 1 because that would just be electric for Twitter purposes, and that would be very, very fun. And the games themselves would also be fun. I think there's you got Tibbs on one side, you got Jimmy Butler on the other. That's some dog in that matchup. And then in the conference finals, I want to get Brooklyn either one, see how we stack up and lose, or absolutely beat them because Kyrie's not playing, stupid, and we have the best team chemistry possible. And then we go to the finals, and I don't even care who we're playing at this point because we're winning.
I mean, realistically speaking, you're going to have to go through 2 of those teams. You're probably going to have to go through both of Brooklyn and Milwaukee unless you're the 1 seed. So bring them on.
So, yeah, I guess we're getting some questions here in the comments that say, first of all, Dren had the most outrageous comment I've seen the entire night, and I've been spewing some stuff into my microphone tonight. Knicks have Evan Fournier. We going to 7.
7 what? 7.
What the hell?
7
minutes deep before the game, the series is over. Like
7 quarters till they realize that they don't have a shot. Like I don't. What are we?
Knicks are playing well in the preseason, have an improved roster.
It doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything unless it's the Miami Heat. It doesn't mean anything unless it's Tyler Hero. Yeah, it doesn't mean
nothing the
anything
Knicks do will ever mean anything.
That's true.
Nobody
That's
cares
a
about
wild
who plays
take.
well in
Listen.
preseason.
Credit to the Knicks. They had a really good year last year.
What, got lost in the second or first round?
Dog, we got swept and we were a lower seed than them. I can't say a single thing.
But we have the excuse. No. I have the excuse machine loaded and cocked and loaded. Let's not do that. They don't.
They were a bunch of tryhards, and
they had like 9 months off between the last season and this past one.
This is very true. We'll see how those Tibbs minutes start to wear them down this year because I am praying for Julius Randle's ligaments. But anywho, no one said the Bulls. Do you guys want that matchup? Or do you not care?
I don't fear them.
Yeah, I'm not scared of them. That defense gonna win.
I think they're they're Brooklyn Nets very, very light, like supremely light, like the lightest of the light version of the Brooklyn Nets. Like I don't think they can guard anybody. I don't think they have very many good defenders in their rotation. Definitely a couple, but yeah, I think playoff basketball, you got to get stops. You're not going to be able to play at a super fast pace. I think that's how that team is going to get a lot of wins in the regular season, frankly. But I don't think that kind of style translates usually to the playoffs. And I think that the Heat have a roster that's built, to compete and be really good in the playoffs. So I'm not worried about them.
Well, I guess that's fair. Can't really argue about that, but
Vooch is a problem though. Shout out to Dan Demand. Vooch, like, it just gives the Heat fits. So that's accurate.
Well, we actually have
be good for a
the
game.
Wisconsin version of Vooch in Micah Potter, so Heat and 4. Sorry. Yeah, I think that would be a fun matchup. That'd be the type of matchup where, like, it's 3, like, let's say the Heat are the hypothetical 3 seed, the Bulls are the 6 seed, and everyone's like, oh, my sleeper pick to win in the first round is the Chicago Bulls, and then they lose in 5, and everyone's like, oh, well, I guess they didn't have it in them, and then going into next
year,
the dark
horse
down on them. Yeah, like my dark horse team, and then they put up 85 points in Game 3 of the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. So it just happens. Dan, we've been going for about an hour.
Yes,
I'm pretty much stalling until I go watch Squid Games.
So good. Okay, we'll talk about that later, though. Yeah,
after.
Let us know in the comments if you watch Squid Games.
No, don't. Let's wrap.
What seed do you guys think the Heat are going to be this year? I guess if we're just answering questions in the comments now.
You had to do it, Gad. You did, eh? There'd be the 3 seed.
4.
Yeah, 4. There's gonna have some injuries throughout the season. I think we'll
who gets hurt?
Manage that.
Don't answer that question.
Yeah,
don't answer that.
Do not answer.
Don't jinx this.
Brian, what seed?
I can't predict the future. This is 100%. This 100% depends on Kyrie. I do not know if that guy's gonna. If he gets vaccinated, like 3 seed, maybe. I don't know. I think it could be as high as 2, but I'll just split I'm just gonna say 3. No, I'm going 4 to be safe. I don't know. 4. Yeah, sure. 4.
Brian, the last time that you predicted the future, it was about KZ Okpala, and I think you were good on that.
No, I don't think you were.
That was
So I
oh my god.
Yeah.
Crackhead energy.
He'd be that's the odds-on favorite for sure.
Yo, he would win that glass game so fast.
Oh my god.
Wait, don't spoil anything. Don't spoil anything, guys. I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you next after we beat the Bucks on Thursday, and we're talking about random things at this point in the stream next Thursday. I'll come back to you on Squid Games. I'll get to that point.
Thank you for the dono, though, Christian.
Yeah,
Thank
Christian
you.
Carter's. That is one hell of a comment. That's a comment of the night, and honestly, I feel like that should almost wrap us up, right? Like,
yeah,
that was beautiful. That was perfect. Yeah. So last words from anybody?
Heat in 5.
Against who though?
Everyone.
There you go.
Hopefully the Hornets. I'm just saying.
But still, everyone.
Jonathan?
The boy is feeling good.
Let's go into game predictions for the game against next Thursday against the Bucks, because actually, I don't know if we're gonna have another post-game stream because these next 2 games are gonna be like the Sioux Falls Skyforce. So, really quick, Brian, do we win game 1 against the Bucks at home?
We do. I don't think either of these teams are going to play anybody significant, but yes, the Skyforce has proven to be the best team in the NBA. So yes.
Well, no. I'm saying like the regular season opener.
Oh, you're talking about regular season. Oh,
yes.
Yeah, of course we do.
Okay, cool. Against the defending champs?
Of course, yeah. Doesn't matter.
At home?
Doesn't matter.
On Thursday?
Does not
it's a
matter.
New season.
And you know what happens when Brian tells the future. Twan.
Yeah.
Shit.
I don't know because Brian predicted first. Now I'm less confident. But, I'm gonna say a Heat win. It's gonna be an ugly one, but I think the Heat win by like 6.
6. Okay, cool. Ariel.
The Heat win in a blowout. They're angry. They're out for revenge. They're at home. The crowd's going to be juiced. Kyle's official regular season debut. The Bucks will be feeling good off beating Brooklyn in the first game. They're going to come in here and try to take the Heat lightly because they swept them in the first round. They're going to be in for a rude awakening. Heat by 20.
Yeah, the Bucks are going to get Ben Askren by Jorge Masvidal. We're going to knock him out. That's it.
Fair. So, in basketball terms, what does that mean?
6-second knockout. We're gonna blow them out.
That means that the game's over by the first quarter.
Okay, you know why it's gonna be
2 minutes
over?
in, the game is done.
This is a storyline that absolutely no one is talking about, but I think it's actually gonna come to fruition on opening night. I am so excited to watch Bobby Portis and PJ Tucker get into each other's faces.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to be
I like that.
Like a box out. PJ hooks Bobby. Bobby gets mad, throws him on the ground. Crazy eyes looking at him. PJ gets up. He's barking. FTX Arena's rocking. Heat by 8.
I like it.
So clearly we're not all biased here. But anywho, I'm going to go watch Squid Games. Everybody in the comments, thank you, because you guys really showed out. Great comment section tonight. This was good. This was good, guys. Twan, thank you for joining us. And we're going to be back at the very latest next Thursday.
Right.
For the postgame show, for the regular season postgame show.
Oh,
right,
keep an eye out. Keep an eye out for those halftime spaces hosted by Marco Romo.
My guy Marco, Tony, Sean,
yep.
They've been killing it with that. Make sure you tune into those. They've been fantastic. So, good night, y'all. Go Heat. Go Skyforce.